So I'm joined by John Kroll, who's a Pittsfield City Councilor from Ward 6, and we're going to talk about the new styrofoam ban that they have in the city. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here, Carolee. Thanks for having me.
So tell me, what is this ban? Tell me all the details about it.
I really think on the big picture, it's actually a continuation of what Pittsfield has done for many years, and that has become more environmentally friendly and reducing our carbon footprint. We were one of the first green communities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which included the institution of a stretch code to make every single building and major renovation in the city more energy efficient. We made a stand against the Kinder Morgan pipeline. So this is not inconsistent with things that we've done in the past. It was a 3-year process, and a lot of credit ought to go to a guy named Ronaldo Del Gallo, an attorney in the Berkshires that had the persistence on this to push it through and educate the city council and educate our subcommittees going through the process. But essentially, what it does is say any store in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts with their coffee. And I know you love your Dunkin'
fan.
Donuts coffee. Yes. I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee as well. Cumberland Farms or what have you, or restaurants that typically would use these styrofoam containers that come July of 2016, that needs to be phased out. I feel like it's a good step for us as far as the environment goes, and I feel like it's a sign that says Pittsfield is a progressive city that's interested not only in the environment, but since styrofoam is not biodegradable, it's a step for our future, and it really makes a statement saying that we care about our future.
It definitely sounds like it's designed to make a statement, because if I were a restaurant owner, I would be saying, really? So you're coming after me. So I'm a small business trying to bring business to Pittsfield, and you're coming after me. It's still sold in stores, is it not?
Right.
So it does sound like they're being targeted.
Well, here's the thing. When we went through this 3-year process, the amount of opposition to it, I think many people were surprised by how little opposition there was. In fact, less than we actually did the math. We sent out mailers to every single business, and less than 1% of our businesses came out.
Businesses
over 300 or so that were on this list, and less than 1% came out to say we're against this. Only a handful. And most of the response that we received from the community, from my constituents, was very, very positive. So looking at that, the actual biggest opponent of this was the industry. And when we went through subcommittee meeting, Green Commission meetings, full city council meetings, the one piece of opposition to this that was always there was actually the representatives of Dart Container Corporation.
Right, but you're not taking styrofoam completely out of Pittsfield. It really,
no,
it's almost as if you're making a statement. So you can't use this in your coffee cups. You can't put takeout in this. But people can certainly buy it, right? They can still go to the local Stop and Shop at Walmart, and they can buy styrofoam.
If you order something from Amazon, yes, there's still going to be
styrofoam.
Yeah,
so how are you really helping? How are you really making a big difference
as a local community? Here's the thing. When you are able to regulate, a certain area, you have to do your best to make the changes that you can do. Clearly we can't regulate everything, and we can't control everything that comes in out of Pittsfield, and that's okay. But I think on the bigger picture, some of the major changes that you've seen in this country have all started from the local level. Some of the major shifts, looking at the big picture, everything from same-sex marriage to the legalization of marijuana to the Affordable Care Act. All these things happened really at the local and state level before you were able to see a change where it becomes the
But is it about a statement and a local?
Sure, it's a statement. Absolutely. We are saying in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, that we're progressive. We care about our environment, and we're going to do what we can do.
Do you care about business owners? I know you're saying less than 1%, though. But if I were a small business owner, and I was reading an article about a business owner from New York when the ban came down, which, by the way, was just overturned, which we can get to in just a second.
Right.
But this person said, look, this is going to increase my costs. It's going to affect my employees. I just think as a business model, why not let the market take care of it? If people feel that styrofoam is dangerous and it's hazardous to our health, don't you think the market will just kind of phase that out?
The concept that the the market itself, left unfettered, is always going to lead to good results. I think we've seen time and time again how that doesn't work.
A lot of people
it
would
doesn't
disagree
work
with
for
that.
that's okay. But I think you look at our economy crashing in 2007, 2008. That was because of lack of regulation, as an example on the macro scale. So I think it's wise for local communities to be able to say, hey, what can we do? In this particular case, like I said, the biggest opposition to this came from the individuals who are actually making styrofoam. And I can tell you that it's a good statement to make, because when you look at the amount of money they must have spent coming back and forth to Pittsfield for every subcommittee, every Green Commission meeting, and so forth, it tells me that the thing that we are doing locally is very, very important. They knew it was important,
Right.
because they know that there's a ripple effect, that when Pittsfield, Massachusetts does this, other communities in Western Massachusetts, who may be viewing this, may look at that and say, hey, that's something perhaps that we can do in our community.
Let's talk about that
And
for a
there
second.
is a positive ripple effect.
Massachusetts, the legislature is considering such a ban, but I know it was not unanimous. It was a 7-3 vote, and one of the concerns was, look, maybe this is okay for Pittsfield, but why not wait until the state comes in and does this?
Right, and I understand that argument. I respect that argument, and I agree with it. I don't agree with it at all, because for the reason that I just said, is that a lot of the change that we've seen in this country has come from the local level. And in order to make change, in order to have an effort that turns into real change, there has to be a spark somewhere, and that spark leads to more and more. So
well, let's talk about your progressive dream, though, of New York City, because they did have a ban that went into effect in July. However, a New York Supreme Court judge overturned it, saying that this could be recycled, and the Dark Company was part of that testimony, but said, look, this can be recycled, and struck down the ban. Are you concerned that you're going to have to fight this in courts?
I'm not overly concerned. I think the practicality is not there. Yes, I mean, hypothetically or really, styrofoam could be recycled, but it's not practical for the Berkshires, because there's no center anywhere near the Berkshires that where it could happen. So, I mean, could it be challenged? Of course it could. Lots of things could be challenged. I mean, Pittsfield, we're being sued by one of the major operators of Dunkin' Donuts on a whole zoning issue, where the city council has been named, because we decided to do the right thing and say, look, a drive-through is not what we want to have in our downtown in Pittsfield, Massachusetts for that purpose under a special permit. So we're being sued. It wouldn't be the first time the city would be sued on an issue, but I think what you try to do is look at the long term, look at the benefits and the cost of things. And I think on the balance, as far as business owners, most business owners have already transitioned before there was an ordinance in effect to move away from styrofoam to use more environmentally friendly products. And I think if you go through downtown Pittsfield, all those downtown coffee shops, they're already way past styrofoam, because they believe that was not the right thing to do, and they believe in the right thing to do a long time ago. Okay. So really, I mean, there's only, as far as the coffee, I know you love your coffee.
I do.
There's only a couple of those.
My cheap hot chocolate cups, too, in the wintertime. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to feel guilty about this now.
Yeah, you don't have to feel guilty, but I think, that's, everyone has their own perspective, and that's why we have a democracy, and that's why it was a 7-3 vote.
Right.
And it wasn't unanimous, but that's what democracy is all about.
John, thanks so much for joining us. You'll be back for other issues, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks.
it.